Bonjour, bonjour, et bienvenue. Good morning, hello, hi there, and welcome. Okay, so we are at a very, very exciting part of the French language. Right, we're going to be learning how to speak, we're going to be learning how to construct sentences, and soon you'll just be popping it off like a French native. Go, yo, yeah, it's all good. So we're looking at regular verbs today and this week, and we're going to be finding out what exactly is a regular verb, what is an irregular verb, why are regular verbs regular, and we're going to be looking at the different verb families in French. You have ER verbs and you have others. So let's get right into it. Get excited, get ready to learn up those verbs, because the more you know, the more you're gonna grow. Hey, okay, on y va. Let's go. All right, so we're looking at the ER verbs. Okay, so I'm saying the first thing you need to know is that there are 3 verb families in French. You have the ER verbs, IR verbs, and RE verbs. Okay, last term you encountered the verb habiter, which means to live. You also encountered the verb s'appeler, which means to be called. Somebody use the verb s'appeler. Let me hear you. How did we use the verb s'appeler?
Comment vous appelez-vous?
Comment vous appelez-vous? Très bien, Christian. Super. Great job, girl. I can depend on you. Wonderful. That means what is your name? And how do you say my name is? My name is?
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Okay, that means my name is or I am called. So je m'appelle Abigail. I am called Abigail, or my name is Abigail. All right. S'appeler is a particular verb because you have the S apostrophe in front of it. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So we're looking at the 3 verb families in French. We have just identified 2 verbs from the ER family. Could somebody please tell me a verb from the IR family that you know? Quickly. We encountered some verbs, the 2 verbs that we did last term. They're from different families. We have IR verbs and RE verbs. So tell me, please, which verb do you know from the IR family?
Avoir.
Thank you very much, DJ. Go girl. Avoir. What does avoir mean?
Means to have. To have, yeah.
Avoir means to have. It means to have. Okay. Very good. Lovely. And RE verbs. Which verb do we know from the RE family? Sorry.
Miss être.
Beautiful. We know être.
To be.
Which means to be. All right. So these are the 3 families of verbs that exist in French. Now, please note, somebody gave me the example of the verb aller earlier on. Aller, which means to go, right? Now, in French, you can have both regular and irregular verbs. What does that mean? All right. A regular and irregular, let's start with irregular, because you learned the 2 fundamental verbs of the French language last term. You learned avoir and être. Okay. I was speaking, somebody was interrupting me. Just raise your hand, please, if you have something to say, right? So we learned 2 fundamental verbs of the French language last term. We learned the verb avoir and we learned the verb être, right? Now, these are irregular verbs. What does that mean? That means that they do not have a pattern to conjugate them, right? And we're going to see the difference today after today's lesson, right? They do not have a pattern. You just have to learn them by heart. When I say pattern, there's no similarities between them when you conjugate them. So, for example, you say je suis, S-U-I-S, right? It doesn't look anything like the verb être, right? At all, right? Then you say tu es, E-S. Again, it varies from the verb être. Everybody following me?
Yes, miss.
Let me go and put it on the board so that you're following me more clearly. So this is the verb être right here. This is the verb être right here. Now I'm saying être and avoir, these are irregular verbs. What did I say about irregular verbs?
They don't have a pattern. Don't have a pattern.
Very good. They do not follow a conjugation pattern. All right. Oops. Now, case in point, we said we conjugate être by saying je suis. Then we say tu es. Then we say il, elle, on, est. We say nous sommes. C'est vous êtes. And then we say il or elle sont. Right? Everybody with me so far?
Yes, miss.
Right. So when we look at the verb être, which means to be, and we look at how we conjugate it over here, we see S-U-I-S. S-U-I-S, there's no pattern in it. Each one of them looks different. Each one of them look different, right? So we have je suis, and if you didn't know that it was coming from the verb être, you would never have been able to necessarily guess, right? You have tu es, you have il, elle, est, nous sommes, vous êtes. Être is the one that looks closest to the verb être, don't it? Right?
Yes, miss. Yes,
And then you
miss.
have il, elle, sont. So there's no pattern, there's no similarity between suis, es, est, some, et, and son. There's no pattern, there's no similarity. They're all unique, and you know that is just how it is. You just have to learn them by heart, right? So irregular verbs do not follow a conjugation pattern. Same thing with avoir. It does not follow a conjugation pattern. You just have to learn it by heart, right? However, you do have in French, and the same thing goes for aller. Aller doesn't necessarily follow a pattern either. So aller is another irregular verb, okay? But the vast majority, I think that's the only irregular verb for ER verbs as well. The vast majority of verbs in French, they're mostly ER verbs and they're mostly regular, okay? The vast majority of verbs in French are mostly ER and they're mostly regular. So this marks the start of our French story journey, including ER verbs. So we're on the path of learning how to construct sentences in French, right? And constructing sentences in French, etc. So here we go. So some common ER verbs that we have met, for example, was habiter, s'appeler. Let's look at the verb regarder. Regarder. Can anybody tell me what it means? Nobody. It means to watch, okay? I'm going to get on another board just now. Hold on. Let me just get off this screen. Move this over some more. Right, we can do this. So regarder means to watch, okay? And that is a regular ER verb. All right, so we're going to watch a video just now, which will help us to understand how we conjugate ER verbs. All right, it was posted well on your, yes, I am recording. Thank you very much. I am recording. It was posted as well on your Google Classroom. Whenever you get something to do, click on classwork and then check by week. We're in week 5, the 2nd to the 5th of November. The video is here. You just click on it and you'll be able to watch it. All right, so please watch now and listen very carefully. Is everyone seeing the screen?
Yes, miss.
Wonderful.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Bonjour, 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 comment allez-vous? Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back. It's a new school year. I hope you're ready and raring to go. All right, so in today's lesson, we're going to be doing a recap of ER, IR, and RE verbs. Regular ER, IR, and RE verbs. We're going to revisit some songs that we learned to help us remember how to conjugate them because they have a pattern. And then we're going to finish everything off by putting things into context with a little simple reading passage, okay? So on y va, let's go. Okay, so we're looking at how to conjugate regular ER verbs in the present tense. All right, let's take one verb really quickly and put it in context. So we are going to look at the verb regarder, which means to watch. This is a very common ER verb. Regarder. Regarder. Because remember, in terms of pronunciation, the ER, we're going to pronounce it like an A. So let me not hear you say regarder. Okay, it's regarder. Regarder. Alright, so the first thing let's look at is the pronouns, okay? Which you would have met from before. It's je, which means I, to you. Informal. Il, elle, on, he, she, one, nous, we, vous, you, formal you, and il, elle, they, masculine and singular. Excuse me, masculine and feminine plural. Okay? So je, I, to you, informal. Il, elle, on, he, she, one, nous, we, vous, you, il, elle, they, masculine and feminine plural. All right, so we have our pronouns, we know them by heart, we know what they mean. Right now, what are we going to do? So we're going to be conjugating the verb regarder in the present tense. When we say conjugate, conjugate basically means to cause the verb regarder to agree with the different subject pronouns. So you want regarder to agree with je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, and il, and elle. Okay, so to conjugate really means to just cause the verb to agree. Okay, and we're going to make the verb agree by adding specific endings to the verb. Once it's a regular verb, it has specific endings. It has a pattern of conjugation that it follows. Okay, which is not the case for irregular verbs. So the first thing we're going to do with this regular ER verb, we're going to drop the ER. And when we drop the ER and we're left with REGARD, that is called the stem. Okay? So when we drop the ER, we're left with the stem, and we're going to just apply it to each and every one of these pronouns right here. Okay? So now that we've done that, we're ready to conjugate the verb officially. Alright? Here are the endings, and then I will give you the song. Okay? The endings are E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, and ENT. That is the ER verb family. Alright, so already, ladies, you're seeing the difference, right? Être and avoir, there was no stem. Okay, the stem is what you get after you drop the ER, right? For être and avoir, we did not drop any endings. Sorry, don't unmute Abigail. Sorry about that. For être and avoir, we did not drop any endings and add any endings. Okay, we just kept it straight with E. Sorry, we just kept it straight and conjugated the verb by heart. Okay, they varied. Everybody see the difference here?
Yes, miss.
Anybody else seen the difference?
Yes, miss.
All
Yes,
right.
miss.
So let's listen now for the song. We're looking at conjugating ER verbs, regular ER verbs. Any verb that's regular follows a particular pattern of conjugation. That simply means that once you encounter another ER verb that's regular, which you'll know through practice and through encountering them, right? Once you encounter another verb that's regular, like regarder, you apply the same endings, and that's why it's important to retain the pronouns in this order. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. Okay? And we're seeing that il, elle, and on always conjugate the verb the same way, and il, elle, plural, always conjugates the verb the same way as well. So let's hear the song right now, okay? It goes, let's see if I can get my pointer. Je cherche, je vois pas, je ne vois pas. Okay, I'm not seeing it. All right, let's go. So it goes E-E-S, E-O-N-S, E-Z-E-N-T. We are the ER verb family. Cue Barney, and let's go again. E-E-S, E-O-N-S, E-Z-E-N-T. We are the ER verb family. So what you get here is je regarde, tu regardes, with an S at the end. Il, elle, on regarde, nous regardons, vous regardez, and elle regarde. Okay, so we started off from the get-go with reinforcing the pronouns. We learned the pronouns, we learned a pronoun sound, we learned the meaning, the English meaning of each and every one of these French pronouns. Okay, so what we're doing now, we have learned how to conjugate an irregular ER verb by dropping the ER, you left with the stem, and you add the specific endings. And that's what you're going to find as you look at RE and IR verbs as well. You drop the ending and you add the different endings that go with the regular verbs. All right, so let's continue to the next one. We're going All right, so there we go. Easy as 1, 2, 3, right? So drop the ER and then add the endings. E for je, ES for tu, E for il est lent, ONS for nous, EZ for vous, and ENT for il, elle. All right, so let's go again. It goes EES, EONS, EZ, ENT. We are the ER verb family, right? So let us put this into practice, right? Okay. Everybody got the song so far?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right. Please feel free to learn it. It will definitely help you in retaining how to conjugate the verb. So we're looking at the verb regarder, right? Now, when we're going to be creating a sentence or conjugating the verb, we're going to be doing the same thing in terms of identifying which pronoun can substitute for the noun in the sentence. What did we say regarder means?
Watch.
It
To
means to
watch.
watch. Very good. What are we watching today?
Miss Nick.
Nick?
Nickelodeon. Nick.
Let's just say la télévision. Huh? Let me humor you. Nickelodeon. All right. That's 1, 2. What else are we watching and who is watching it?
Miss, I'm watching the rain.
Okay, La Pluie. And what else are we watching?
Yes, Miss Lap.
Miss the time.
Yeah, because you want to go home. Very lovely.
Miss, we're already home.
Uh-huh.
Bossa, wait for Miss. You're watching the time. We're regarding l'heure. Okay? Let's let this. Move this up. Let this and move this up as well. All right, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is identify which pronoun can substitute for the noun. So we have Luke is Sahara. All right, one person go ahead, raise your hand, tell me which pronoun can substitute for Luke is Sahara. Go ahead, Selena.
Miss ILS.
Thank you very much. What does il mean?
They.
Beautiful. So we're using knowledge that we learned before. Il means they. Okay, so Luke and Sahara, the pronoun that can substitute for that is they. Now, what do we do next, Selena?
Miss, you identify which verb can go with they.
No, girl, the verb is regarder. So we're using regarder in all of the blank spaces, right? So we've identified the pronoun. What do we do? Hold on. Selena's on the floor, girl. Just go easy. Yes, Selena.
Miss, you identify which regarded verb can go with they.
I get what you're saying. Sure. And how do we do that? We are going to conjugate the verb is what you're saying. How do we know conjugate regarder?
Miss, I don't remember.
All right, go ahead, Dijonay. Let me hear.
You should ensure that the verb agree with the subject pronoun.
And what's the first step in conjugating the verb, Dijonay?
Miss, Going to see if it's whether it's plural or singular.
We already did that because we already know that Sahara and Luke, we can substitute il for Sahara and Luke. Let me hear you, Christian. What were you saying, Christian?
Miss, you take off the ER at the end.
So that's the first thing we do. We're going to take off the ER. We drop the ending. This is a regular verb. This is how we do it. We drop the ending. What do we do next, Christian?
Miss, then we conjugate it.
Okay, and what do we put? So we have, when we drop the ER, what do we have left?
Miss, we have REGARD.
And what is that called?
Miss, regard.
It's called the stem. Okay, so you drop the ending
Stem.
and you're left with the stem. Everybody please retain that. You drop the ending, say that with me. You drop the ending and you're left with the stem.
You drop the
Okay, so you have the stem left. REGARD. Now, which ending do we put? Let's sing the song together. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Allez, sing it.
ESE.
I'm in a know what you're saying.
1 second.
What are you saying? Come again, please, somebody.
ES.
EES, EONS, easy ENT. We are the ER verb family. So what goes at the end of regard?
ENT.
Thank you very much. ENT goes at the end. Why isn't it coming in caps lock? All right. So that is how we conjugate the verb regarder with Luke and Sahara. Very quickly now, let us go. Tamoy wanted to go from before, so let me hear Tamoy. Go ahead. Give me the pronoun that can substitute.
Or is it Miss?
Come again.
L.
Sandra et moi, no. Somebody else. Hold on, Christian. Hold on. Let me hear.
Oh, Miss, is it nu?
Miss Nu.
Sahara just raised her hand, but they said nu. That is correct. It is nu that was substitute for Sandra et moi. Once you see nu, et moi, you know it is nu. And what do we do next? Somebody tell me quickly. Time is going.
Miss, you
Off the ending.
Drop ER. Go ahead, Janelle. Let me hear you. I don't always hear Janelle. Go ahead. Let me hear what you're saying.
Miss, you drop the ER and you left with regard. Then you, for nos, you would add on ONS at the end.
Very good. Regard. So are we seeing how what we learned previously you would have had to have mastered that to be able to continue? Please ensure that you, well, I wish you all the best. Number 3, let's go very quickly. Somebody I have not heard from. Nicolette. Is Nicolette there? Come along, Nicolette. Let me hear what you got. So which pronoun can substitute for Trifina et toi? Tawana.
I don't really understand.
What do you mean you don't understand? It's the same thing we're doing last week. Sahara, let me hear you. Go ahead. Which pronoun can substitute for Trifina et toi? The pronoun. Give me the pronoun. We've been doing this since last term.
Miss Vu.
Thank you very much. The pronoun is vous, which means you. Formal, but in this case, it is also plural. All right. Now, Tawana. All right, let me not say Tawana. It's okay. I'll say somebody else.
Yes, Miss.
One person. Is that Tawana there? Wonderful.
Yes, Miss.
So, Tawana, you said you don't understand. We said the first thing was we drop the ER. We sing the song to figure out where we're going to put the ending. And then we add the ending. Okay? So, Trifina et toi, the verb is regarder. What do we do, Tawana? We've dropped the ER. What do we have left? Go ahead, Renika. Let me hear you.
Miss, you drop the ER, Miss, then I left with the stem.
Very good.
Then you use EZ.
Excellent job. Regarder. Okay. So the sentences would read, number 1, excellent job. Bravo. Very good, Renika. All right. So it's Trifina et toi, regardez-leur. You and Trifina are watching the time. Number 2, Sandra et moi regardons la pluie. Sandra and I are watching the rain. Number 1, Luke et Sahara regard Nickelodeon. Sahara and Luke, or Luke and Sahara, are watching Nickelodeon. Okay? You are going to be given an exercise to complete from your French first year, The Big Blue Book by Blumenstein. And I will, if you don't have it, I'm going to post it as well on Google Classroom, right? So you're going to be doing that, and that will be for your homework. Okay? I'll also post the recap video, which is happening right here, right now. Let me just go ahead and stop it so that we can get along to class. Okay, on y va, c'est parti. Let's get going. So we just looked at how to construct the verbs. We just learned some very important key points about what this ER verb thing is all about. Let's get some more practice going, because guess what? Practice makes perfect, okay? So the more you practice, the better you get at it, the more it is reinforced in your mind, in your whole cognitive function thingy that's going on in your brain. So practice, 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 pratiquer, pratiquer, pratiquer. C'est la base, quoi. It's the basis of everything, all right? So, on y va. Let's go. Get excited as this guy right here. Look at him. He's a kid. Wow! Let's go. On y va. Super. Okay, so before we run into our activity, we are making a quick stop at our conjugation tables, or verb tables. What are these? This is basically, you get one verb and you conjugate it from je to il, elle. Alright, so this is your first activity. You're going to see the verbs that I'm telling you to conjugate on a later slide, but you're going to correctly conjugate the verb that I'm giving you, that you will see on a later slide in your books. Okay, that's number 1. So you're going to do up a little table. You can put je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle in one column. Right here, I have it in 2 columns. This is column 1. This is column 2. You could have put all of them going down in one column like this, right? So you could have had the pronouns here. You could have written like pronouns over here. Wow, I'm writing really neatly right here. Awesome. Pronouns. I'm just going to stop at O, because otherwise it's going to take too long. So you could put pronouns all in this column, and then you put the verb that you're going to be conjugating. So, all right, let's say we're looking at the verb bavarder, which we are. So you could have, to save time and space, you could just do it like this: the pronouns in one column, and probably three columns with the verbs. So you have bavarder here. Wow, this is getting very messy. Okay, so you have bavarder here in one column, that's one verb, and you conjugate it. This is really messy. Okay, sorry about that. So you have the pronouns in one column, bavarder in a second column in your books, and then you can have another column with another verb, for example, regarder. Then you have another column with another verb, for example, aimer, right? So as many columns as can neatly fit in your books, that is what you're going to do to save space. All right, I don't want you guys taking up like 4, 5, 6 pages with these verbs when you could have been more efficient and done it in columns. All right, so that's activity number 1. You're going to be correctly conjugating the verbs that I'm going to give you in your books by doing one column for pronouns with all 6 pronouns, well, 6 sets of pronouns, one column for verbs, another one. All right, so about as many as can hold in your book. All right, you just make sure it's neat, and I will be requiring those of you. All right, so I'm going to give you an example here of a verb, just to reiterate that once the verb is regular, and please note all ER verbs, all verbs in the family of ER ending in ER are regular except one, ali. All other verbs that you will encounter in French, there may be a few, let me not go there, we'll look at that in another class, in another lesson, but all of the verbs are regular, right, except ali in French. Okay, so once you encounter a verb that ends in ER, you're good. Even if you don't know it, don't freak out, you're good, because you know the pattern. The EES, EONS, EZENT, they all follow that pattern. You drop the ER, you get the stem, and you add the endings. That's the pattern we've been talking about. So we're going to look at something, a verb that
aptly describes what many of you love to do, huh? And that is bavarder, which means to chat, okay? So whenever you get a verb, please ensure that you retain the meaning of it. Study it, okay? Because when you know the verbs and their meanings in English, your vocabulary grows and you're able to construct sentences like that, okay? That is the aim, that is the objective. If you wait until later on, it's going to be much more difficult for you, right, managing everything. So as you encounter a verb, please commit it to memory, post it somewhere in your room, do something just to remember it, okay? So bavarder means to chat. What do? The first thing we do, as you know, we drop the ending, drop off the er, and we're left with the stem, b-a-v-a-r-d, okay? Quick point, pronunciation point. Er is pronounced a, like ay. So bavarder, not bavarder. Let me not hear you say it at any point in time. Bavarder, okay? Not bavarder, bavarder. So we drop the er and we get badam, we get the stem, all right? So then after that, we're going to add our endings. Remember, you're doing this before I do it. What are the endings? E, es, E-O-N-S, E-Z, E-N-T. We are the ER verb family. Next time, won't you sing with me? Right, so that is it for bavarder. You're going to do this in your books, like I said. Let's get right into it. So on the next slide, you'll be seeing a few sentences. Some of the verbs you do not know, but they're all regular because all ER verbs in French are regular except aller. Some have little spelling changes in the stem, but we'll get to that at another point in time. They're all regular. So you're going to identify the pronoun, which can substitute for the subject in the sentence, right? And you're going to correctly conjugate the verb. What you're going to be doing for the activity that follows, you're going to be identifying the pronoun that correctly substitutes for the subject of the sentence, and then you will be conjugating the verb before I do. All right? On y va? Let's go. La pression. Pressure time. Pressure. Soup, soup. Pressure, pressure. On y va. All right. So here we go. Activité 1.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yes, are you ready? All right, so basically all we're doing, identify the pronoun that can correctly substitute for the subject as we have been doing. Then we're going to correctly conjugate the verb in brackets. Are your fingers quick enough? Is your brain fast enough? Are you sharp enough? Let's go. Remember, drop the ER, you get the stem, and then you add the endings. On y va, quoi? On y va. Let's go. Number 1, les filles, blank toujours en classe. The verb is bavarder. Let's go. Pronoun. Verb. Ça va? Hope you got that. Let's go. Numéro 2. Can you beat me? Pronoun. Verb. Pointer, remember we dropped the ER. Drop the ER. What do you have left? Verb. Alright. Number 3, facile. Easy. Facile. Already given. Aimé, what is it? Numéro 4. Pronoun. You know, feel free to pause at any time and do it yourself. Let's go. Gotta be quick. Yo. Okay. Ensuite. Oui. So. Number 5. Verb. Number 6. Pronoun is given. What is the verb? Let's go. Sorry, désolé. There we go. All right, I wonder how you fared in the previous round. So here's what you're going to do. These are the 10 verbs I was telling you about previously. You're going to correctly conjugate these verbs in your books in a verb table. First column for the pronouns. You can do about, it depends on what size your book is, or if you're doing it landscape or portrait size, right? Do the verbs in a very neat manner. All right, and I will look at them thereafter. So you're conjugating these verbs in your books. Aimer, to like or to love, which we already used in first form. J'aime ma maman, I love my mother. J'aime ma peluche, I like my teddy bear. All right, j'aime des sandales, I like slippers, or I love slippers. Okay, there's a stronger word for to love. So aimer is more loosely used. However, you have another verb called adorer, which is adore with an e at the end. Adorer, A-D-O-R-E-R, A-D-O-R-E-R, adorer, that means to love. Okay, that's a stronger love. All right, so aimer, to like or to love. Changer, to change. Demander, to ask. Écouter, to listen. You've heard me say that before. Écoutez les filles, listen please. Girls, emprunter, to borrow. Habiter, to live. Jouer, to play. Parler, to speak. And trouver, to find. Visiter, to visit a place. All right, so you're going to conjugate all of these verbs in your books, and you're also going to write one sentence with each. Okay, so j'aime, for example, j'aime le Coca-Cola, I like Coca-Cola. Or nous aimons des fruits, we love fruits. All right, so all you're doing, you're looking for a noun to follow the verb. All right, or that's basically it. All right. All right, ladies. Que Dieu vous bénisse à tout jamais, et bonne continuation, bon courage. Practice, practice, practice. That is how you're going to get better. All right. Ciao, ciao. Bye.